Children, we have already completed the materials and things lesson. Yesterday, I hope you got the worksheet. Don't get confused. Still, all the full lesson was not completed, but we got the worksheets. Don't worry, you got one class. Still, three, four classes will be coming. After listening to that 3, 4 classes, try to answer that worksheet in your classwork. Before also, I hope for the first 4 lessons, I gave you question answers and objective that are in your classwork. If you missed the classes from your friends, you collect the questions and objective part of that one and you complete it. And 5th lesson, yesterday I sent you in the WhatsApp the worksheet. According to that, after listening the full lesson materials and things, and you have to revise your textbook also. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Then you try to answer that worksheet with what we discussed. Once again, I'll remember you that we discussed about materials, soluble and insoluble substances. Which one is zinc and flow? The very important is transparent, translucent and opaque substances which are and the materials that depends upon the usage. How we are using the materials, according to that we will prepare, we discussed about that. Okay, with that our topic of materials and things has been completed. Now today we are going with the habitat lesson. We know that all the living organisms need food, shelter and clothing. Is it correct or not? All the living things need food, shelter and clothing. In that, the shelter is the very important thing. For what purpose we are under the shelter? To protect ourselves from summer, winter and rainy, and also from the robbers, thieves. Okay, to protect ourselves. Not only we, even the animals, even the birds, whatever it may be, we are taking. We all should have the shelter. Is it correct or not? That is only our habitat. Now I am habituated for a particular house. Now I am living in a house for 10 years. Suddenly I just want to move this, I want to leave this place and go to some other. How our experiences will be, not only for me or for you, we will not adjust to that particular. Why? Because already I am habituated for this house which I am staying. I know each and every place of my house. And I'm interested with my bedroom, I'm interested with my drawing room, I'm interested with my hall. Like that, we will have our own way of arrangement. Why? Because we are habituated to that particular place. Once, if I am changing my house, it takes a lot of time for me to adjust in a new house. Why? Because the structure, the system, everything will be changed. Now I am habituated for a particular. For example, I will tell for you, I am habituated for the hot regions and some are habituated for the cool regions. Let us take animals itself. Polar bear, where it will be? It lives in the surroundings of the cool regions. When I am taking a camel, it is habituated to live in the deserts, a hot, humid places. Now, if I am bringing that camel and I am just keeping in a polar place, okay, and I am taking this polar bear and I am putting this in Rajasthan, a humid place, can they both survive there? Or within few days, what you can see means just they will die. Why? Because their habitat is totally changed. The polar bear can live in the cool places. It cannot come and adjust in the hot regions. Then if the camel is there, it is habituated for the hot region, it cannot. Means we disturbed their habitat. We know that many of the creatures will survive on the trees. We can see that animals, birds, then some small creatures, organisms will survive on the tree. Now, a big tree was near to my house. We know that how many creatures will be on that particular tree. Now, I don't want that tree near my house. So what I am doing? I am cutting that tree. Don't think that I'm so cruel to cut a tree. Just for an example, I'm telling. Always I'll tell for you, save the trees. Why? Because we are getting the oxygen from that particular tree. Because of that fresh air, because of that fresh oxygen only we are surviving. But according to the lesson to explain for you, I'm telling you that a big tree was there near to my house and many creatures are surviving there on that particular tree. I just I don't want the tree in front of my house, so I cut the tree. What is happening there? All the creatures who are habituated on the tree, they are suffering. I destroyed their habitat, means their shelter. Even the fresh oxygen which I am getting, the fresh air which I am getting, okay, that also I disturb. Because of the tree, I'll get shade, I'll get cool air, okay, I'll be comfortable. These all things are there, but what I am doing, I just cut off that one without any, no, what's that, thinking. Then, not only me, many creatures are suffering. We know that the fishes will be in the water. Is it correct or not? Now, if I take a fish out and just keep it, I just took it out and kept on it on a land. Can it survive on the land? No, within few seconds it will die. Why? Because the fish is habituated in the water. It can, respire through gills. The oxygen which is present in the water is taken by the fishes to survive its life. It can survive only in the water. It cannot survive on the land. If I am just taking it from the water and leave it on the land, what will happen? It will die. My habitat is on the land. If I am going and just dip in the water and I want to survive my life in the water, how much time I can be in the water? Just 5 minutes? Just 6 minutes, 7 minutes, than that more can I sleep in water? Can I drink that water? Can I, arrange a bed in that water? It's not possible. Why? Because my livelihood is on land, the fish's livelihood is in water. So this particular lesson is telling about what is habitat means. It is the dwelling place. It is a dwelling place where living organisms can survive. Where the living organisms can survive. It's a very, very important one. Only this particular place. And each and every, for human beings or animals or birds, insects, they are having their own particular habitat. We cannot disturb that particular habitat. Means in this lesson what we are going to read, what are the habitats of the animals? Okay, what are the habitats of the human beings? Where they are surviving their life? If we are going to destroy or damage that particular life, what will happen for them? These all we will discuss. But I will give you some examples. If I am taking monkey. What is the habitat of monkey? It is a tree. Okay. If I am taking a rat. What is the habitat of this rat? Burrows. It will be in the holes. So, burrows are the habitats of the rat. If I am taking caterpillar. What is the habitat of this caterpillar? The caterpillar will be on the leaves of the trees. Okay, it will be on the leaves of the trees. Now next, fish. If I am taking fish, what is the habitat of fish? Water. Okay, then next I am taking the habitat of human beings. What is the habitat of human beings? On land. Okay, if you are taking the frog, it is an amphibian. It lives in 3 places. It's an amphibian. It lives in 3 places. What are those 3 places? On land, in water, under the soil. Under the soil. See here, I gave you few examples here that monkey, rat, caterpillar, fish, human and frog. Are these all things are having the same habitat? No. All are having different habitats here. If I am taking a monkey, it lives on the tree. Rats and under the burrows. Then caterpillar on the leaves. Fishes under the water. Then human beings on land. Frog can survive its life in the three places: on the land, in the water, under the soil also. Okay, then in these three cases, how the frog can survive? When we are talking the frog on land, it respires through lungs. Okay, when it is in water, it respires through gills. At this moment, the frog is in tadpole form. When the frog is on land, it respires through lungs. When it is in water, it is in the form of tadpole. It respires through gills, and under the soil, it is having a moist skin. Under the soil, it is having a moist skin. So it respires like that. So a frog can survive in all the three places when we are talking about this. Coming to your lesson, there a girl and a boy. A brother and sister went to their grandparents' house in the village, and there a pond was there. Then this particular girl asked her brother, let us go and enjoy in the pond. There, when she entered into the pond, she saw different varieties of creatures there. Okay, what will be present in the pond? Only water will be present in the pond? No. We can see flowers will be there. Some creatures will be there. What are those creatures? Now let us talk about that. When we are when the girl entered into the water, she was surprised. She saw lotus, which we all love. When we go near to the pond, when we see the lotus, if it is very close to us, we will go and we will pluck that and take to our home and give for our mother. How happy we and she will be there. Next, fishes are there. Larvae are there. Larvae of frogs, fishes. Eggs are present. Crabs are there. Okay. Then some shells. Some birds. Not under the water. Just they are flying near the pond from here to there. And then on the lotus leaves, she saw some eggs. She was very happy to see these many things in the water. And she is having number of doubts, and she is asking for her brother. So interesting. What are the things present there? What is there? Lotus is there. Fishes are there. Then prawns are there. Crabs are there. Many creatures are surviving there. So the pond which is present in that particular village is a habitat for many organisms. Okay, and did you observe any time when we dip into the water, we can see many of our elders will hold their nose and dip into the water and get up. What is that? Why they are closing their nose and just dipping into the water? Is it any holy tradition that is happening? No. We will think that, oh, they are praying for God, no? So they are closing their nose and dipping into the water, and no. In the water, we can see that small creatures are present. Okay, from little worms, little eggs, larvae, everything are present in that. If I am directly dipping into the water, what will happen? These small creatures what are present in the water will enter into my nose. I will just inhale them. They will enter into my body. So what I am doing? I am disturbing the habitat of that particular organisms which are present in the water. Why? Because when we inhale them, they cannot survive in my body. Their habitat is water. They have to survive there. So what is happening here? When I am inhaling these creatures will enter into my body. So when we are dipping in the water, we are trying to close I am trying to close my nose and I will dip in the water, just to save the organisms which are present in the particular water. So next, when we are seeing here, these particular organisms are present inside the pond, and her brother is explaining all these to her. Okay, then here you can see that these particular organisms, what is happening means they are habitat for the pond is an habitat for them. Did you understand? So his brother is explaining like that. In this particular lesson, we are having three types of habitats are present for us. One is pond is an habitat. Next one is aquatic habitat. Pond is a habitat for which organisms a pond is an habitat. That is only called as aquatic habitat. The next one is terrestrial habitat. Means terrestrial habitat means the organisms which will live on land and also what is that on the trees, which will live on land and also on the tree. We will talk the pond as a habitat. First let us see the organisms are divided into 4 groups. The organism means their habitat was divided into 4 groups. That is what is that means under the ground, on the ground, okay, on the ground, underwater, and other places. All the organisms' habitats are divided into 4. Under the ground, on the ground, underwater, and other places. So, under the ground. Under the ground, what we can see? Worms. For example, earthworms. Earthworms will be present under the ground. Frogs will be present under the ground. Okay. Then some shells will be present under the ground. Ants also will be present. When we are trying to dig the soil, we can see ants will be present. Okay. So, these are some examples I am giving. You can give some more examples under the ground. Then, on the ground. On the ground, what we can see? Like a goat, cow, dog, etc. on the ground. Now, underwater. Underwater, what you can see? Fish, snail, crabs, prawns, different types of plants. Okay, these all we can see under the water. Other places, winds, on trees, we can see monkeys, crows, parrots, etc. Then on animals, if you are taking a buffalo, on the buffalo we can see leeches. Okay, burrows. And the burrows we can see rats, rabbits, etc. So, these are the different places where the habitat was there. But where the habitat was there? Under the ground, on the ground, underwater, other places. Okay. I gave only few examples. You can try to give many more examples for this one. So, underground, earthworms, frogs, shells, ants, eggs, these all are present. On the ground, goat, cow, then sheep, cat, etc. Underwater, fish, snail, crabs, prawn, plants, etc. Other places on trees, monkeys, crows, parrots, animals, buffaloes, on the trees, monkeys, crows and parrots. Animals, on the animal skin also. Animal skin is also habitat for few organisms. So, for example, I took buffalo. On the buffalo, we can see houseflies. Houseflies will move from here to there on the buffaloes, and also leeches. About leeches, when I am entering through the lesson, I will burrows, rats and rabbits. These are the different places where the creatures are having their habitat. And tomorrow, the very important one, pond as a habitat, I will discuss. Thank you.